Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. Watching Prism Football Base drop by every fucking shit. All right, let me try again. Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. Watching Prism Football Base drop by the minute. That's Kai. I'm March Madness Munchkin. And today we are joined by one of our favorite people in all of sports cards, someone who has started their own consignment service, and it's one of the fastest growing I've ever seen. From humble beginnings a couple of months ago to now him and his business partner having a literal $1 million in sales operation. It's Jocu from Jocusportscards. How's it going, man? How are you?
Living the dream. I'm so happy to be on the pod. As I've told both of you guys, I'm a fan. I listen. I'm ready to get the sexual tension going.
That dude, one of the funniest things I've ever talked about in general in sports cards is the amount of content produced by people and the thumbnails and the videos, and it's just like this could be like a blacked video. This could be, you porn. And we're going to get in trouble already. We're a minute in and I'm already getting in trouble. This is not going to end.
You should have expected to get in trouble if you brought
I know. This is going to be an interesting episode. We do have a bunch of different questions to ask you. I know that before the podcast, you'd said, hey, man, like, I don't want to just talk about consignment where you're excited to, but you actually wanted to talk a lot of sports, which is so interesting that when it comes to these sports card podcasts, not a ton of sports is talked about. Like it's so weird that like I feel kind of like you and I 85% of the time we're talking sports with like just the sports card undertones and then
that's what it's all about, right? I mean, all this stuff is centered around sports, and it's the only way that people like us could actually invest, other than maybe betting.
Yep.
But you could actually put your money into what you believe in and the people you believe in, and you could follow players like, just as an example, I've been buying Jordan Love for like 3 years now, and buying and selling and everything. And I remember being at a show and buying his base Contenders auto for $90, and now a True Gem just did 1,000.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. But I mean, like I watched his preseason games, watched his, highlights at Utah State. Still, he might be good, he might not. But really, in cards, as you know, David, really just does not matter.
No, it's such an interesting thing that you bring up because you brought up a lot of interesting points there. And we'll get into this a lot as the episode goes on. But the first thing that I really want to touch on is so much of sports card money and investing, quote unquote, happens. But I can tell you for a fact, some of the best dealers, the most high end dealers I know, do not watch sports. Oh, and it's so interesting to me. Like, I would be kidding you if I said I watch every single basketball game or baseball game or whatever. But I can tell you I watch basically every football game because of like NFL Red Zone and just fantasy football in general. So like I have a pretty good idea of what's happening day to day in football. But like I couldn't do that for every single major sport. So I'm part of the problem. But I can tell you for a fact that a lot of collectors don't even do that.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy to me that
a lot of them just need to know who the hot guy is, and then they get their deals and they start moving stuff.
I mean,
but as far as football goes, like I'm the same way as you. We've talked about it a lot. I'm a red zone guy. I like watching every
so good.
And if you stay on top of your stuff, you can find the diamond in the rough. Like find the guy that
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
Kai, you know what? I think after our conversation last week, so the time of recording this, it's Thursday. We recorded Tuesday, so there's a little behind the scenes. But Kai, based on our conversation in the last episode, I am going to start buying Ritter stuff. Not at the moment.
You're driving me up, man.
Well, you gonna go buy some Prism base?
No, yeah. So I just bought some, and it already dropped by $10 since the episode started, and now it's down to another $5 since I started that sentence. It's really weird how that goes. But it is so interesting to me that, dude, you didn't watch last episode yet, but Zach Wilson NTRPAs at the time of recording 2 days ago were still selling for $1,000, even upwards of $1,500. It's fucking absurd to me that like some of these guys still have the value they do. And obviously when these good products come out, NT, Flawless, Prism, their prices are so inflated to start. But if we come back 2 months from now or 3 months from now and like look at a guy like Ritter or Sam Howell or Kenny Pickett, if you believe in him, their prices comparatively are going to be down so much from like this initial peak. It's kind of scary. People are going to get really burnt if they bought so early.
Yeah, it happens every time too. It's weird.
It does. People just like it's not even FOMO. I think truly just comes down to like stupidity. Like you should not be paying $150, $200 for Brock Purdy base prism.
Or
they're going to go down,
right? Or ignorance, just not knowing.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be that run up again though before the season,
of course, but
like, they're never going to get back to like the release day, whatever prices they are now.
It is scary.
So. It's weird though because baseball kind of worked like that a little bit, but it's not as crazy. Like the prices, kind of stay a little bit more steady. But football, man, just people go heavy into it at the beginning and it just absolutely tanks. Like what, like 90% sometimes?
Dude, the funniest example was the Mac Jones. I think it was Donruss Rated rookie. I don't even think it was Optic Rated.
Yeah,
Donruss base,
the like regular base one.
That peaked at what, $2,000, and they're under $10 or $20 now these days. Like
probably like $5, honestly.
Whatever it is. The fact that it got to that level is the scariest part of all of sports cards, because when people think that they're getting a good deal at that price of $2,000, even $1,000,
I don't think anyone thought they were getting a good deal.
Do you really just think it's people being suckers? Do you really think
it was like the first copy graded? I think that's why I did so high, but
that's so stupid. I hope that guy like
could have been chilled. I mean, even on Card Ladder or Terapeak, even I'm seeing sales that show up, that like, especially now that I'm tracking the market a lot, it's hard to tell what's an actual sale. I use Card Ladder. I know you do too, Dave, but
love it.
It's so hard to like, you could do your diligence and if you know the market, but as for knowing if something actually sold, like, I mean, I get so many messages now. I almost want to, it's kind of tough to respond to everyone, but it's almost like you got to know the people selling the card in order to know whether.
Shout out Trey Young.
Yeah, Trey Young gets showed like no.
It's so embarrassing how bad Trey's market has become.
It's ridiculous.
But
yeah, I tell people when they give me Trey Young, I'm like, I'll take it, I'll sell it for you, but don't expect it to get paid, man. Like if you want me to run it like 5 times, I will, but he just gets chilled like crazy.
It's really kind of shocking. And you bring up your consignment services and everything like that. And we introed with that. We have like 12 questions here for you. We're not going to do them all one at a time. We'll do batches of 2 or 3 and like continue talking and then bring up more as irrelevant, just to give everyone perspective. I have a ton of questions. Kai did as well, and we even asked a couple friends for insight. So I think first off, this is a great place to start. Like, what inspired you to create this consignment service and focus, less on like the normal everyday card operations?
Well, I'm still doing everyday card operations. That's a portion of what we're selling is mine and Derek's logo cards and a couple other people that I partner with or my own cards. But what made me want to start was just like there's just a consistency to it, and I just looked at what, not that like I like MC, sport. Like I think one of your questions, I'll jump ahead, was like, do I have any beef with anyone? I have some issues with certain people like that put like looks nicer or
undergraded.
Undergraded.
Oh my god.
Shit like that. Like, come on. Like, I'm never gonna put something like that in one of my listings. Like, if anyone that worked for me did that, I would tell them like, don't ever do that again. If something looks centered, I'll put centered. If it has good color, I'll put good color. But I'm not going to put like a card that's folded over. It looks nicer,
Looks
like,
gem ? USA 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a problem with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, what made me really want to start was I just thought I could do it well, right? And I like selling cards, and I like being around the market. It was a way for me to get like a guaranteed amount of money without, there's really not a ton of risk other than reputation risk. And I've had a couple cards get damaged now that I've sold 700 something plus cards in the last whatever. Beckett slabs chip a little bit, so there's some adjustment there. So I had to eat the cost on a few things. But now that we're kind of getting in a roll, Derek and I are doing everything. We're looking to bring on someone else, but the amount of time that we spent from the beginning has actually gone down.
That's
Because
awesome.
we're
As you're getting
better.
smarter, optimized, and all that stuff. Do you have collector's insurance, by the way, or no?
Dude, yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
dude.
Yeah, I heard you talk about it with Mikey. Yeah, you got to have it.
So I can give you an update
Yeah.
on the situation. I'm not sure if I told you about this really, at least not on the podcast. So I did a deal with our friend Hot Corner 2 on fucking Friday.
Oh yeah, I know about this.
Tyler. And an item that I shipped to him went missing. Yeah, Tyler's I love that Tyler in this podcast. He's such a cool guy. But one of the deals we made, the item went missing that I shipped to him. It was a Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols Topps Now triple autograph. UPS lost the package. I think they stole it. It was valued at around $6,000 in our deal, and because I had collector's insurance, more specifically collector's insure, I opened a claim, and within 24 hours, the person got back to me, asked me some simple questions. I had proof of everything. Maybe not the sale because it was traded, but I had value, proof of shipment, issues with UPS that I had documented, and they awarded me $1,500 in cash. I'm getting a check sometime soon, maybe by the time this episode comes out, and that's all going to Tyler. Like insurance works when you have all the documentation that you need. So I'm sure you as a business owner now are keeping your books super clean and organized, but it's just like such an important thing in this industry that you need to.
Well, I would recommend it to anyone because you pay what is it like $700-800 a year for.
So I pay $2,500 for $150,000 of coverage for my insurance.
I up mine too, but if you want just like a simple insurance policy of like 30 grand or something, you can do it for like $700-800. And if you have one shipment that's lost or whatever, it covers it. Like and if you're paying for insurance, like every time you ship something, like if you ship a lot, like just get the collector.
Adds up.
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
It's so crazy how like one time pays for both years of coverage I've had now. Thankfully, that I never want to fucking use it again.
Yeah,
but I've had to.
Well, they come down. The insurance, UPS. I'm sure the collector's insurance has a deal with UPS and USPS and all that, where they have insurance as well, and they probably come down on these people. So, if you file a claim, they probably want to trace it back and go find how it happened, and they're going to do their research.
Well, that's the crazy thing too, is the UPS really fucking dropped the ball on my case because they opened an investigation and closed it without telling me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were really being kind of shady about it. So thankfully it all worked out for Tyler and I. He'll be compensated when the check comes in, but he can get the cash now if he really wanted. But like, we're friends. So like, that's the crazy thing too, is when you're actually friends with someone, or at least know someone is legitimate, there's no real concern you're going to get fucked. At Dallas last week, and I didn't tell anyone this, I forgot about this, although Mikey was a witness to it. The dealer across from us, his name is Jason Deal Me Slabs. Very nice guy, very cool. I've known him for a while. He was like, "Hey man, do you mind watching my backpack?" He like handed me a backpack. I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem, man. Like, should I just like put it on my seat? Should I put it behind me?" He's like, "No, keep an eye on it. There's $100 grand in cash in there." I'm like, "What the fuck? Why did you tell me this? Why did I need to know this?"
You should have given me that backpack.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go pack up now. No big deal. I'm just gonna
have some fun, huh?"
Oh, yeah, that was weird. I mean, very cool. Like, I'm happy that like people trust me, but also, what the fuck are we doing?
That's
how
absurd.
Is this real?
$100,000.
It was weird. It was really weird.
Must be nice.
So, what do you do like every day with consignment now? And like, what you said you still do normal like card operations. How do you split your time with that?
Some days are harder than others. Like, like one thing we're developing is we're trying to get a website. Like I talked to you, Dave, about like, DC has a great website, and I think I'd be, dumb not to look at what other people are doing that works, So we're trying to get a website together so that it will handle a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with right now. A lot of it's just communication. Like some people, are more, they require more communication than others. Like, hey, has this sold? Has this gotten paid? Has this, and eventually I'm hoping the website could take care of a lot of that kind of stuff. But day to day, yeah. So like, I just spend a ton of time on cards. Like that's just how it is, right? And I'm part-time at my job, so I haven't quite quit yet. And then Derek's, stepping up. Like while I'm on vacation, he could basically, he had his own eBay before that was doing really well. So that's kind of what got us together. Is like I was buying and selling cards. He was buying and selling cards. We both liked eBay. eBay's king right now. It probably will be for a long time. I like the other consignment, or I like the other sites as well. Like I buy on I'll buy on PWCC, Golden, Heritage, all those. Like I know the people there. I've had good conversations with all. They're good people. But so like it's just a lot of time and a lot of effort and just put my head down and just keep grinding and hopefully it just keeps paying off. But it's just every day, wake up and boom till I go to sleep. That's it.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, this is not a question on the Q&A we had, but like, do you feel like you love cards more now that you're like really kind of ingrained in it every single day? Or is it kind of more of like a business where like you love it, but it kind of like the fun of it is a little drawn out now?
I love, because like, here's the thing, like life's too short, right? So like, if someone is super, super, super difficult, I'm just going to tell them, like there's people that are just difficult, you know what I mean? And there's people that I like working with, like, and I have a couple, like models or people that I really look up to, like, in the business, like Big Boyd, he sells all his own stuff, right?
Really?
Like
I didn't know Perry had his own stuff.
Maybe one day I can get to that, like, and sell for people that, a few selected people. I'm just kind of, I would say there's certain parts that have gotten more annoying, but definitely like my knowledge of the overall market and like my confidence when I'm buying stuff has definitely gone up, which has made things more fun. And then also at shows, now that I'm doing mostly everything on eBay, like I kind of just go to buy and I go to talk to people. Yeah. So like I actually get to like enjoy just like, hey, like what's going on? Like, and I know some people are busier than others. And I've known that, once you go to the shows all the time, who's like willing to talk and who's willing to like hang out and do whatever, like grab a beer like me and Dave would.
Were you in Dallas last week? Because I really didn't have a chance to leave my table. So
I had a nasty sinus like problem. I like missed it. I had everything booked. I was gonna go and I just couldn't make it.
Okay, I would have felt really guilty if I didn't get a chance to see you. I maybe left my table twice the entire show, like to walk around. I was so unimpressed by like other dealer stuff and like the prices they were asking. I'm like, fuck this. Let me go back to my table.
That's what I heard. One of the partners I buy with said like everyone was just like taxed on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, listen, it's so interesting that like if you're, I think 85% of what this comes down to is communication. If you're willing to be like an upstanding citizen and you're willing to be like fair and like actual human being, even if we don't get a deal done this time at this exact show, I will see you again because I travel pretty often, and you and I will come cross paths and like we'll probably make a deal happen. But if you're just like, and I'm sure you've seen, both of you guys have seen this, is the person who walks up to your table with alt open, scans an item, says, do $80 on this, and you have a sticker at 150 and it's worth $125. It's like, no, fuck off. Like,
you know what I've learned about that too is like comps. All right, I'm gonna say this as a blanket statement, and then I gotta break it down. Comps are so stupid. Like, because like it's just so insane to me that like so many people get left behind because they get so fixated on comps. Like, if you're buying rare stuff, like you buy, Dave, like I'm not saying like go out and buy like a base card or something that you could go on eBay right now and buy it for less, right?
Correct.
But if it's like an upward trending market, or it's an undervalued person, it's a champ ticket, it's a cracked ice, it's an NT, it's a blah 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 blah, and you're gonna get fixated on a comp, you're gonna get left behind. Like comps change all the time. Like then there's so many private deals too that go down that people don't even realize. Like, and I gotta break it to some people, like some of these big cats, big dogs, they don't give a shit about what the last one sold for. It's about where the market's at, what's going on with that particular person, what other they'll look at cross comps, what other people like cards sell for compared to that person. Like, where's his market at? Like I'm starting to do that too. Like, what's Mac Jones doing? I like Mac Jones. I think he's undervalued. What's Tua doing? What's Baker Mayfield doing? And then comparing them to some of the other guys. And then if you can go out and get like a Contenders True Gem Baker Mayfield auto for $150, like I've seen that card go up, even recently to $200-300. So does the comp really matter? Like, I just think people get so fixated that they just miss out. Like, and obviously do your research, like learn about like the market. But if you know the market, like who cares about what it last sold for? You can't buy a sold card. You know what I mean?
I like how you just ended that. You can't buy a sold card. Very true. I will say that comps matter for common cards, like you were alluding to. If for whatever reason you have a bunch of base Prism 10s in your showcase, football, baseball, whatever, yeah, there's comps every single day for those items, and I can go buy one right now. But if you're selling, like, you have such interesting taste, so, or I'm trying to think of a card that you would own. Like when you have the Jordan Alvarez gold Bowman Chromes, I think you had like 2 or 3 of them. You got one off me, and I think you owned another one.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I did get one off you.
You paid very strong off the last comp, which I said on alt, because you knew, hey, baseball season's approaching. This guy's really good, and I can make money off this. So you paid strong to me, and then I'm sure you flipped it and did very well. But guess what? There's only 50 Bowman Chrome autos, and if the last sale and you're in June, but the last sale's in April or March for $1,500 and you're asking $2,500, guess what? The market has shifted because, at this point in time, Jordan is playing well, or the Astros are winning, or both. Yeah, you can only look at a comp for certain things. It's a guide. It's not the end all be all on certain items. Base cards and whatever else, the comps are.
I paid double a comp and made money.
Yeah, as you should. And listen, if you're going to pay strong on an item, you better be fucking confident you can make money. And obviously,
you gotta be confident. I'm not just saying go out there and buy whatever. Like you got to do your research. But I feel like there's so many people that are just so stuck on, this sold for this. Like if you pay attention to the market, like really, like daily, you'll know like the comps don't matter. Like the next one's on upward trending marks, like baseball. Like if people were so stuck in November on the comps and they weren't buying in December and January, they got left behind.
I think what's really happening now is being 2 sports ahead of the current market is a guaranteed way in most cases to make money, assuming a player stays healthy. Like right now, it's March 16th as the date of recording. So what's happening right now? Baseball's right about to begin, like the regular season. NBA, dude, honestly, I've stopped paying attention to the day-to-day NBA because I don't care. The Nets are okay. The playoffs are approaching. I don't really care until playoff basketball begins now. So 2 months away, give or take. And football, we're a month away from the NFL draft, 5 weeks away. So if I'm 2 sports ahead right now, honestly, I'm starting to look at teams in the NBA who had players who either got hurt this season or are already out of the playoff hunt and seeing what I can get. So that's guys like Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball, I can't name more off the top of my head, but the point is like younger assets. Jalen Green, thank you.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Like guys who are either playing well or got injured who are not going to be in the playoffs that no one's going to be paying attention to. Where's the opportunity there? And if you are 2 sports ahead, quote unquote, and you're just paying attention to the opportunities, hey, listen, like how bad can you really do if an SGA Prism Blue is available for $2,000, $3,000, but you know that the high of it was 8.
Yeah,
might be worth looking at.
Yeah, like Herbert and Allen got just so destroyed. Like their market just tanked.
I'm buying Allen right now.
Yeah, I mean he's safe. Like it's like almost a guarantee.
I mean nothing's safe, nothing's a guarantee. But if you're telling me I can pay pretty strongly for like a gold optic rookie that came for sale 2 times in the last 3 years publicly, fuck it, why not? He's an MVP candidate when healthy, and the Bills are on that precipice. All right, I'll buy him instead of Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. I have more faith in the Bills when the season matters as opposed to a possible up-and-coming team. Because guess what? If they fucking falter and the Bears go 7-10 or don't meet expectations of these collectors, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah.
Just
I want Ritter now. Tell me why I should buy Ritter, Kai.
Because he's cheap. Like
guaranteed starter, half the price of Pickett. Probably played better than Pickett in the games he did play in. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer to me.
I mean, I'm gonna buy Ritter too. Like once NTRPs are available, or like someone puts something at auction, like everyone's sleeping, I'll go buy him some. Like fucking.
He's actually probably a third of the price of Pickett, for being honest. He's probably a little bit less than Howell too.
I'm shocked by that if that's true.
You can't tell me Sam Howell is going to be the starter next year.
I mean, they just signed They signed Jacoby Brissett to be the backup / starter.
Yeah.
But how was
I
a
think that's the
fifth-round
same
pick?
thing as I think it's the same thing as us signing Heineke, though. I don't think he's going to start.
I mean, let's be real. Like, would you be shocked if Heineke started 6 games, 7 games next year?
Yeah.
Really? Heineke's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I like Heineke.
He's not like I like him too, but it's not like you don't go get him to be like your guy.
No, but like
I think you get him to be the starter and you go draft someone that's not ready. He's that kind of
exactly.
bridge quarterback type of guy.
I think, and Kai, we talked about this last time too. I think the Falcons are in a significantly better spot, but the example I like to use is like the Texans of last year, where they have a second-year quarterback who can either make or break, quote unquote, his career. If Ritter comes out next year and throws 25 touchdowns with 8 interceptions, 10 interceptions, and the Falcons go 9-8, you're probably not getting a quarterback. You're probably going to at least see what Ritter can do. Or if shit hits the fan and he sucks and he's injured, and the Falcons go 3-14, you're gonna go draft a quarterback.
Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer, by the way, dude.
Thank you.
We're not doing this.
There's gonna be like 30 quarterbacks in the next 5 years that end up having better stats because of.
Thank you. Yes, I agree.
Who's better, him or Phillip Rivers?
Neither. They're both the same, but
neither.
Matt Ryan has MVP.
All I asked is who is better.
Matt Ryan.
I'd rather go with Matt Ryan because at least he won when it counted.
Matt Ryan or Eli Manning?
I'd take Eli.
Who's the better player, or who's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Who's the better NFL player?
Matt Ryan had a higher peak. Eli Manning has Super Bowl rings.
It's not even close either. Like
I'm not denying that. I acknowledge it. If we're playing,
I want the guy when it matters who's going to make that throw and win that game, not the guy that's going to be up by 21-3.
Here's my little stat, and I'll leave it with this: Matt Ryan has only had a top 25 defense one season ever.
Yeah, but Kai, don't you understand? Wins are only a QB narrative when it matters to you. Like wins and all this other stuff only matter when it helps your argument. How dare
Didn't Peyton Manning have the worst defense in the NFL one year and they went to the Super Bowl and won it?
The Broncos and Colts were nasty. What do you mean?
No, like there was one year on the Colts where they had like the worst defense in the NFL, and I don't know if he won the Super Bowl, but he made it to the Super Bowl.
I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't be shocked. I know they had a bunch of good players though. Like
who did they made it to the Super Bowl against the Bears? Did he make it a second time on the Colts?
I think he went twice
against the Saints.
Oh yeah,
against the Saints.
And then Tracy Porter picked them off or something. I remember. Yeah. And then they made it to the Super Bowl, once or twice with the Broncos? I know he was.
They lost
back to back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. He got murdered by the Seahawks.
And then the Panthers, they beat when he was in like retirement already, basically.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
His shoulder was about to fall off. He was throwing like 10-yard passes.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, dude, it's crazy. All right, let's go through some more of these questions because I honestly
wait real quick.
Okay.
We gotta do a segment with Jocu. Name your favorite 3 random athletes.
Oh God! Okay, this is good.
Ooh, I got you. All right, Ron Artest.
Good.
Okay.
Meta World Peace, whatever you want.
I think it's Ron Artest these days, but go on.
All right. Let's see. Football. I'd have to go with Jeff Garcia.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one.
Grew up watching him. Third one. I'm trying to think. Omar Vizquel. I was a big Giants fan.
Ooh, oh no, Omar Vizquel's bad these days.
What's wrong? What did he do?
What did he do?
I think he sexually assaulted like a
why did I say that? Now I'm gonna get in trouble.
Cancel him.
He did something really bad. Like it was like.
All right, let me change my answer then. Shoot.
He's not gonna end up in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Patrick Willis, man, he was my favorite player.
Oh, that's a good pick too.
That's a great pick. I've named my random 3 guys. This is all football, but Vincent Jackson, Robert Woods, and Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, Marshawn was so fun.
Dude, I want a Marshawn Lynch game worn jersey badly. I will really overpay for one.
Yeah, beast mode. He was awesome.
And then Robert Woods, I won a game used jersey on NFL auctions yesterday, 2 days ago. I fucking overpaid for that. I paid $1,500 for that.
How do you know? How did you learn about game used jerseys? Because I've been wanting to get into it.
I go on eBay and just look at game used jerseys, and then I go to like NFL auctions or NBA auctions or MLB auctions, like the official websites, and just kind of like see what's on there. I'm not worried about the NFL certifications.
Too, huh?
What'd you say?
They have them on Golden and stuff a lot too, right?
Yeah, Golden has a lot now,
but Golden's had some issues, Kai and Jocu.
You got to do your research.
Yeah, that's why I haven't jumped into it, because I'm like, I've heard so many like horror stories about like people just getting like fake ones or like problems with them.
I would rather buy from the sources. Like the Padres jersey right here is from the Padres team store.
Yeah.
And like I have this.
How can someone fake that? He's got like the whole third
Yeah, who
base.
the fuck is gonna fake Jerkson Profar? Maybe Brett.
Oh, shit.
Maybe Brett Gardner they'll fake, but like I have the Steiner cert, so whatever. Who the fuck's gonna fake Jerkson Profar? No one cares.
Someone will.
No, they won't. If they did, then
He was the number one prospect.
he was the number one prospect in like 2009 or 2010. He's like 30 something.
That's crazy.
What do his first Bowmans go for?
Like
probably
$10,
probably negative money. I think they would pay you to take them.
God, there's so many people right now that people are buying for like 10 grand. They're just going to be worth.
It's so crazy.
I might have sold too early on my Jordan Walker stuff, but I made money. So like, how upset can I really be?
You do that every time. If you just make some money on every transaction, you'll never go broke.
Well, that's the thing. The great saying. I would say that at least in my end, and I'm not sure Joku or Kai about you guys, my success rate, if you want to call it that, or my profitability rate, whatever you want to call it, is probably significantly higher than the average collector because I will almost always take the profit. Like I'm not that greedy when it comes to that stuff, and I'd rather have the cash or trade or both, reinvest it into stuff, and I can just keep on going, as opposed to holding it too long and getting fucked.
You'll also take the profit in the form of like the most random cards, though.
Are you telling me you want 9 David Johnson 101s, sir? Hang on.
I like going to your booth, but sometimes I look at the cards. I'm like, hey, what's going on here, dude? You got
hello. Would you like a David Johnson 101? Hello. Would you like another David Johnson 101?
David Johnson. I don't know.
Or
I heard
another David Johnson 101, or another David Johnson 101. But how about this? How about these are backwards. How about even more David Johnson 101s?
You should sell all those and get one really nice Adrian Peterson.
I'm actually okay with that. The funny thing too is I've sold 2 of them for $50 each, so it's working.
I had 2 Adrian Peterson NTs, and I had no plans on selling them. Yeah. And some guy I just can't find them anymore. I own 2 of the 99, and I just haven't. I think I sold them like a year and a half ago and just can't find them. You should trade all those. You can get an AP auto.
I'm just gonna put them in auction,
dude. $300, dude.
So at the time of recording this, my flight to Chicago is tomorrow morning at like 7:30 in the morning. I'm not gonna put these in my showcase. I'm not gonna take them with me, but I did auction off one on eBay for $50. I'll probably put the rest of them at some point. But
Goodwill.
What's funny is that I own 11 of them, and a Hollywood Brown 1/1 100th anniversary NFL Shield at $5 value. I will make money, but I'm fucking stupid when it comes to this type of stuff. But I'll do okay. So, oh well.
If you're taking your profit, it doesn't matter.
No, and I really smart Kai Mikey wrong, which is half the battle. Wrong.
I've had some really smart people tell me in the hobby that they don't even focus on players; they just focus on value.
I do the same thing too. I don't really care what I trade back for if I get good value. I broke down my Dunk and Go Shaquille O'Neal BJ's 10 Pop 4, which I traded for at around $3K value last week into like $4,200 worth of stuff of random shit. And even confident, I'm like, yeah, that looks good. All right, cool. Like when you trust people, like you kind of just make it work. I mean, there are people. Kai, if you sent me shit, I'd probably just buy it. Joku, I would buy shit off you. Mikey, I spend way too much money with and not comp stuff, as well as Tyler. It's not always the best, but like 95% of the time, our values are right on and deals just happen.
Yeah, you got to find people you trust. Like, so like to your question, Kai, about the time, like, so I PC the randomest stuff, like, like Bugs Bunny, like all.
I've seen stuff in PC.
It's like, and you should see everything now because I've been adding to it. But I have someone that I just send money to, and he'll just send me a care package now because I don't have enough time to like look through all the stuff I was looking. And my collection's actually gotten better. And at first, I would comp out 1 or 2, and I was like, dude, this guy's giving me great deals, and I trust him. And now it's just like, okay, here's money, give me my PC stuff that I want, and he's happy with it. And he sent me 2 big care packages, and I'm super happy with it too. It's really important to find people you can trust. It's huge.
No, listen, trust goes a long way. I mean, I'm not sure trusting you with $100,000 in cash is the way, but people seem to trust me. Which is, dude, I mean, I'm all about it, but damn, there's a different level of trust there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, let's ask some more questions. I think you answered this one already, but like, do you guys have any employees, or is it just you two?
We have a Indie.Sports. He's been helping us out a little bit. He buys with us as well, Logan. But really, we've been just kind of knocking it out. We're kind of looking, and we've been talking about hiring someone. We want to, if anyone in the California area, by Sacramento, Stockton, Lodi-ish. If you guys want to help out, we're looking for someone that's fast and wants to learn about a bunch of different stuff. So if that's you, hit me up on Instagram, Jocusportscards. But yeah, we're looking to hire because days are busy, and as you know, Dave, like you haven't quit your job either. You probably could if you wanted to, but I'm the same way. I'm part-time, but I'm going into a busy season. Luckily, Derek, like I said, he can handle it. But yeah, we're definitely looking for some help.
Yeah, listen, hopefully either through this podcast or through just word of mouth, which seems to go a long way in sports cards too, like you can find someone, because I can't tell you enough that like I trust people's opinions directly way more than I would have if it was just like an Instagram story or a feed. If you tell me shit's good, I'm gonna believe you. So it only goes so far. What would you guys consider like your first big break when it came to the consignment service?
We had a couple that I'll just name a few that were just massive sales, like that showed up on like Card Ladder and stuff. So we sold Willie Mays 52 tops SGC 6 for 31,000. The biggest hit I think was the BGS 10 refractor LeBron, sold for 40, and then like I don't want to say random because I guess it was relevant, but we sold a John Jones 1/1 recently auto. That
I saw that. That made me so happy for you guys.
I was surprised, and the consignee was really happy, obviously, because like he was into that card for really good, and just good timing on the sale. I think that's one of the things that separates us is like we actually care. Like we want your cards to do well, so we're not going to put them up on like a Friday night. I don't think Friday auctions do very well. I don't think Saturday morning auctions do very well. So we have our set kind of days that we do things, set kind of times that we do things. We set up, we do all our promotions and everything. So we want everyone to do well, because like if they don't, I'm gonna wake up to a text about someone complaining, and you're dealing directly with me. So, and a lot of times that kind of stuff's predictable. Like I've never really been surprised by a sale where I've been like, man, I'm sorry that went that low. I've been more like, that's the market, and some people have like been trying to shop their cards, and then they go to put it at consignment, and then they're upset with what it goes for. And I'm not trying to complain or anything, because I'm just just thankful.
Talking, yeah.
I'm just talking. I'm just thankful that everyone wants to do it. But yeah, one of the most I guess annoying parts of everything would just be the complaining, especially like if people knew how hard we were working. It'd be like, damn, like, and especially because like a lot of times we do like free promotions. We're not even charging for people and stuff like that right now. So we're trying our best. There's certain cards that are going to do really well in markets, and then there's going to be cards that don't. And I can't help what you traded into the card for, if you overtraded or overpaid. Like I can't really control that. But we can control how many eyes we get on the cards and how many watchers, and that it ends at the right time and all that kind of stuff, and that it's like a good picture and good listing and all that. That's 100% within our control. If we did something wrong there, like I'd want to hear about it for sure. But maybe not all the time on the low or the low sales.
You kind of touched on it, but I'm really curious if there's like one specific, or even more, like of the biggest obstacles you face as you've seen this business grow, whether it's like customers or sourcing inventory, or both, or even just like paying out of pocket for that free promotion of items. Like, I'm very curious to say, like, what would you say are some of the larger obstacles you guys have faced so far?
I think the biggest thing is just keeping track of everything, like people that want to cancel bids, or like eBay. One of the things is like if you send it to the vault, right, like to PWC, sometimes the name's too long, so you have to make sure you print the label and scan it in and get the tracking in, because if not, like people could say they didn't get it or whatever. But I think it's just keeping track of everything, and then also like keeping track of the payments, payouts, and trying to make sure that's fast. Kind of like we had an adjustment period of like how we were going to pay out, like just kind of just everything, just keeping track of the whole umbrella. But like I said, we keep getting better and better, and then hopefully with the website and automation and stuff, we could focus more on like the customers and less on that kind of stuff, like have a better system of organization, automated, all that kind of stuff, so that we could really just hone in on getting more people to sell with us. And then just the promotions and everything like that. I really want to just focus like that on that part of it eventually, like
the customer service satisfaction type of.
Let's just get people's cards to sell well. Let's just get a ton of eyes. Because like the reality is, if their cards don't sell well, they're not going to want to sell with me. But we've had a lot of people that have come back because they've sold the right kind of stuff and they've just done really well. The other thing was like, we've reached out to eBay a couple times, trying to get discounted rates. We're not doing it for ourselves because we charge a flat rate. We're trying to get people to get more
the most money they can.
Yeah. So like if eBay gave us discounts, we would pass it along to the people that can sign with us. We wouldn't raise. We might raise our rates on the high end stuff because we're only charging 1%. So if a card sells for $20,000, we're only getting 200 in consignment. So we might change that up a little bit. But really, we're just trying to get people to save more money. So hopefully, I mean, they told us that they'd reach out if we kept doing well. So we'll see. But as of now, we don't have any deals with eBay, and honestly, like our options are open. So if another company or whatever worked out something, we'd be open to it.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is give you a chance to flex, possibly. Hashtag grinding, all that stuff. Do you guys have the best rates in all sports cards?
Do we?
Do you?
On lower end, not so much, but on high end, yeah, we kill it. I mean,
Perfect.
Yeah. So like, we've had people pay like 3 or 4% on like a $20,000 card. I think alt's like 8, I want to say.
Yep.
And then I know Probstein's probably, I think we beat Probstein and we beat all the other guys on high end. On lower end, it's tough because we don't get discounted rates. So it's like, if you sell $100 card with us, it's like 20% with our consignment rate. So, but the more you go up, I think the better the rates are. So
let me cut a promo for you. So what basically you're saying is, for people who have high-end cards who want someone who's going to be in their corner, who pays the best rates to them, it sounds like Jocu has that and more. So
absolutely, let's go.
It sounds like you guys have the higher market figured out, especially with obviously just being a fucking good human being. Like, people want to be around you anyway. So that alone gets you in the door, as opposed to other companies or consignment services who, frankly, I don't even know some of them.
Mikey, why am I drawing a blank? Give me a second. But
Mikey's cards, or what are you talking about?
Consignment company. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Quick Consignments.
Name the big ones on eBay. I'm trying.
Probstein, Quick Consignments 802.
He's cool too. I forgot his name, but
DC.
I'll get back to it. MC.
Okay.
He's nice. He's cool. We were supposed to have a call, but he's busy too. He's like, it's hard to organize the time, and he's on a different. But yeah, like there's some people that do care. It just gets harder and harder as the busier you get to really have that communication and that kind of like personal touch to it. But like that's why I want to try to build it so that I can be more on top of that and less on top of maybe the day-to-day type of things.
Makes sense. Let me ask you one more question, and then we'll jump into more football free agency. I like how we're kind of segmenting this.
That's all good.
Do you feel like other consigners, like, is there open arms? Is it just open competition? Have you seen questionable DMs come into you from people that are running these organizations? Do you even want to share that? Like, I can tell you I've heard things, which I'm not going to repeat on the podcast, but I've definitely seen a mix of both answers.
I guess I'm just babyface to it, because I mean, I've had like people reach out and say, "Oh, have you thought about selling with X?" And I'm like, "Dude, I own a consignment company. I don't know what you're trying to do here." But I haven't had anything like too heard anything too crazy. I mean, I know there's been issues with like shilling and stuff, but like, trust me,
You can't help that.
It's so hard to manage. Like Derek and I go through and we cancel all the zero feedback bidders. We try, like people message us, oh, this looks like it's getting shilled, but it's so hard to keep track of all of it and like get it action. So we try our best, but it's really hard. Like, I mean, especially when people have so much money into a certain player or a certain, thing, and they're really motivated. Like I have one card, this has only happened this one time, but I have one card. I'm on my 5th round of auctioning it, and we canceled. This is the only one. I mean, most of the time it's the second time it gets paid. We have a really high rate of payout because we block bidders that don't pay. We block zero feedback bidders. Our block list is massive.
Awesome.
The reality is like the people that send us cards, they want to get paid. Like that's why they're giving us cards, right? They want to get paid. And I know that for sure. They want their cards up fast and they want to get paid. So anyone that's out there shilling, number one, people are going to look and see it didn't get paid and then it got relisted. That makes your card look worse. So if you want to go shill something, like it's really stupid, because if it's sold for the amount that it did originally, more than likely that's going to be higher and do better for your card than if you shill it and it goes lower the second time. Number two, you're just wasting everyone's time. It's just kind of, really selfish thing to do, I guess. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, I mean, I think it does. I think you're laying out like there are certain things that are just very interesting when it comes to consignment that most people probably don't even think about or care. And it's interesting to have such a different perspective on this because, we're in conversations constantly with people that we want on the show, whether it's high-end dealers, yourself, or, or people who offers a different perspective. Like I want to have showrunners on this podcast who have another perspective we've never seen. And I feel like this is such an educational point that not everyone gets a chance to see behind the mirror. So I'm going to ask you more questions as well, but I do want to touch on NFL free agency, which is something you really want to talk through. Joe, what team are you a fan of again?
Niners. My wife and I are season ticket holders.
Hang on, there it is. So I have the list here of the free agent tracker. It is pretty crazy that Lamar is number 1 and like nothing's happened here so far.
No one's even offered anything, have they? Like what?
Why? No, it just opened yesterday though.
Officially opened yesterday, but like it's weird how all these deals got organized so quickly. Like what?
No, the Lamar people couldn't even talk to Lamar until yesterday.
If you're the Falcons or
no.
Commanders, what do you call? Or is that what they're called now?
Yeah, the Commanders.
I don't want to. They should have kept it as the football team. But if you're one of those teams, why don't you go out and get Lamar? You think Desmond Ritter's better than Lamar? Come on.
I mean, I think we didn't get Lamar because it kind of defeats the whole like getting out of cap hell. Like you're just spending your entire cap space and next 2 picks on him. Like we couldn't have signed everyone we did.
What I heard too is you could do all the work for the Ravens, get the contract figured out and everything, and then they can just match it and boom,
they just match it. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. So
I would almost guarantee at this point in time, Lamar goes back to the Ravens. Like I can't even think another team that would actually proactively go.
They got rid of Huntley too, so
no, he's not. No, he's not gone. He they tendered him a contract.
Sounds like a tender.
Yeah, it's like second round pick or some shit. It's really hard to keep track of everything.
What a terrible time to be a running back.
Dude, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think Saquon like doesn't play this year or like tries to hold out for a long-term contract, and the Giants don't budge. Like they can't pay him.
What do you think about the Miles Sanders deal?
I think the Panthers did very well.
I think he's overrated,
but he's not getting paid that much. I think what is? Hang on, I'll pull up.
It's like 6-ish a year. It's like $425, but. They have the Eagles have the best offensive line, and he fumbles. He disappears like every other game.
Like, sure, he's not going to be. They don't still have Devonta Foreman, so it's him and Chuba. Like that's a pretty good 1-2.
They ran like a 3 running back system too, right? Like he didn't even get like.
Well, it was McCaffrey first, obviously, and then it was Chuba, Devonta, and I don't know.
Are you talking about the Eagles or the Panthers?
Eagles.
Oh, you're talking about the Eagles.
Yeah,
okay. It was
Boston Scott, Sanders, and what's the other dude's name?
They all got like 10 carries a game or whatever.
Yeah. And Jalen Hurts. So technically like 4 running backs.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, but the Giants can't pay Saquon. You gotta move on from him, or Just look at what happened with Zeke. Like Zeke, 2 years into his 5-year contract, is gone. So,
what do you guys think about this Aaron Rodgers deal?
It would be really funny now if somehow the Jets did not get Aaron Rodgers. I know it's going to happen, but I would fucking die if he just retired instead.
Well, now that they've like announced it and everything, yeah. What if the Packers are just like, oh, we want 2 first-round picks, or else we're not going to trade them?
I saw someone said that Rodgers could say to take whatever they're offering, or he's going to threaten to retire.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what's the Packers have no leverage. Like they might not even get a first-round pick.
Yeah, that's true. They don't really have any leverage because they've made it known that they don't want him on the team.
Yeah, like, well, he doesn't want to be there either. That's the thing. It's a two-way street. Like it's going to be an interesting end to his time in Green Bay. You know, if the Jets say, fuck it, we're giving you a second and a fourth, like take it or leave it, bitches, they're going to have to take it. Like,
what do you think about your guys' quarterback situation?
I found it weird, like the Sam Darnold thing. He's got to be the best backup kind of option that was on the free agency, unless you counted Baker. But I was just kind of confused. Like, what does that say about like Trey Lance? Like,
you guys should have got Matt Ryan.
No,
I think we want.
He had his best season with Shanahan, bro.
That's true.
Is he even on this list of top 100? I don't even think he is. That's so fucking funny.
Wow. He just got cut like yesterday. I see why not be. But
I mean, this list is pretty updated, I will say. But no, he's not even on the top 100 list. Jacoby's on the Redskins.
What was the cap hit for the Colts for having to cut him?
It wasn't like 15 million or something like that, or like
they saved money somehow, but it was like a decent cap hit. He was owed like $50 million this season, I think.
I like how basically free agency is a day or two old theoretically in this moment in time, but like a lot of these top guys are already signed. Like obviously there's some still major news like Will Maher, but I just don't see him leaving. But like other than that, like Gardner Johnson's not going to move the needle for a team too much. Or
no, he's really good, man.
I know he's really good, but what I'm saying is like the guys who are still available are not going to move the needle.
How's Clowney 33rd? He's awful.
That's what I'm saying. These players are not going to move the needle too much for their guys. Dalton Schwartz is interesting. They'll rock you sin.
Tony Pollard was that low? That guy's a stud, man.
I mean, I don't think Tony Pollard was ever going to go anywhere. They tagged him right away. Like
I heard they're going to get rid of Zeke too.
Zeke got cut. No, Zeke is gone.
I missed that. I heard that he was going to get cut.
I would honestly be okay with like the Giants going and getting him for like nothing. I know they're not going to because they signed back Matt Breida, but
what do you think about that Daniel Jones contract?
It's fucking garbage. I hate it.
$40 million a year.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about Daniel Jones, and I'm gonna just get us off this screen. The thing about Daniel Jones is it's only a 2-year deal theoretically at like $82 million. So if he's asked, which I think is entirely possible, and the Giants decide to move forward with a new quarterback, you can do that. Like he's just not. He's so mid. Like I can't.
You guys like you. You won't have a bad enough pick to like get someone though.
I know, but like Daniel Jones is probably the 20th best quarterback in the NFL.
I think you're underrating him, honestly. I'd put him
in the like 15, 16 range.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's not much better.
Like, is he better than Jimmy G and Derek Carr? I probably would say so.
I don't know.
I would take him over both of them.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
the thing about Jones is like his high is so good. Yeah, they are all mid.
Yeah, like that tier of guys is mid. I'd rather have like
I'd rather have Jared Goff. Why don't you just give up and draft someone and sign someone like Baker if you're really
I said that. I said the Giants could kind of just punt, but the issue is they're going for it now. This is the window. It's like a 2-year window because you have you can tag Saquon theoretically twice, even 3 times if you really.
It's gonna be like a 20 mil cap hit, dude.
But that's exactly it, though. It's not a long-term contract. If he gets hurt, like a certain other running back in the NFC East, or who just falls apart after 1 year, you're not committed to him long-term. If you keep on tagging Saquon 2 or even 3 times, you really, really, really have to. It's a lot better in a 1-year like poison pill than a 3 or 4 year deal where you're just fucked. Like you can just keep on tagging the running backs.
Dude, if you're gonna tag him 3 times, you should sign him to a 3-year deal. It'd be so much cheaper.
Or you don't, or you just leave him on a 1-year deal every now and again if he keeps on playing. First off, I don't think Saquon reports to the Giants. I think he holds out, and I think he's within his right to hold out. But assuming that he does play under the tag this year, which would be really interesting, yeah, I would tag him again regardless. I would not offer him a long-term extension. I would just keep going year to year if he's willing to play under it.
Would you rather have Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert?
Herbert.
Is it a career or 1 year?
Just equal team, like going forward, like who you want.
If it's 1 year, I want Lamar because I think he can stay like this explosive runner, and like teams have to scheme for it. If it's a career, I want Herbert. I think Herbert.
Lamar's not healthy though. He's just
that's the thing. If we're assuming he's healthy and it's 1 season, I want Lamar because I think his ceiling, which is obviously an MVP winner, is higher, and I think what he can do running the ball is just unparalleled. But if we're talking a career, like I'm taking over as like a GM of a team, I want Justin Herbert. I think he's more consistent.
Yeah. What about Hurts or Lawrence?
Ooh,
I'll say the same answer I just said. If it's a season, give me Hurts. If it's a career, give me Lawrence.
Hurts is so good, man.
He
was the best quarterback in the Super Bowl.
Hurts.
I think he's kind of a product of the team, though.
Yeah, it's always interesting, like when the guy signs the big contract, what's going to happen to their team? You know, you take away a bunch of those offensive linemen. You take away, like you go from making, what does he make? Probably like $3 million a year, $2 million a year right
now.
Probably. He was a second-round pick. So he doesn't make that much.
And then what? So after his 4th year, he's going to get $50 million. So you take away,
it's going to shatter their team. Yeah,
dude, if the Giants play Daniel Jones $41 million, Hurts better get at least $50 to $60 million.
Yeah. I'd rather have Hurts than Lamar, but I think I'd rather have Lawrence than Hurts.
They're taking away that. They're probably going to take away that rule for the like QB sneak thing.
Oh, the push. They got like it was impossible to stop him or Josh Allen. Every time I watched them play, they did that little QB push thing, and it was a first down every single time. How do you stop that?
Takes away like 12 touchdowns from him, probably.
If they take that away, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, he's got 1 more year left, so they'll extend him and he'll get paid. He's getting paid all in $4.3 million this year.
I'd be giving all these guys the Mahomes deal though, because like Mahomes' cap is only hit. It's only like $21 million this year.
Well, listen, Mahomes' deal is aging perfectly. Like it could have been argued as an overpay when it was signed, but it's not now 3-4 years into it because of where the market has gone and the cap. And inferior players getting stupid money annually. It's so interesting. The Chiefs are, they obviously had to take a big risk, but it is
with Mahomes. It's like I would give the same deal to Burrow, Herbert.
One of them might get it. You might see Burrow get a 10-year deal.
I could see like 10 years, $600 million.
They're gonna have to top him.
That'd probably be a good deal.
Baseball's about to have a contract absurd like that whenever Shohei or Juan Soto reach free agency, if either of them do, which I think they both will. You might see a $600 million offer go after like Shohei Ohtani. And
I think he definitely will.
And Juan might get $600 million if you sign him for 15, 16 years. Like it might be like a real like record-breaking contract.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, let me ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll get into our last segment, which is like talking about how we got into sports cards. Do you have any like funny stories or anything interesting like from Consignment that like you would not have experienced otherwise?
Just some of the messages I get are just so dumb, dude. And like they're just so stupid. Like one guy was like, "I shit my pants." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, wait, I think you posted that, didn't you?
Like, what are you like? And I'm reading all these messages, and I'm just like, and like certain people. One guy was like, "Don't sell this at this. I have the other one, and you're killing the market." And I get those all the time, and I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry you overpaid for your card. I have a consignment business. This isn't even my card. Like, and the guy that got it probably was into it less and probably is going to make money. I'm sorry that you paid so much for your card. Like,
amazing.
But I get a lot of those. And then anything else that's funny. I mean, you just know, Kai knows you do a lot of eBay, right? There's just so many people on eBay. I mean, there's good people, obviously, but you don't hear from the good people.
So
wait, real quick. Do you have anything? Do you have returns off or do you have returns on?
Off. I can't do returns.
Same.
Some of that is so ridiculous. Like
my cat bought this card. Can I return it?
Oh yeah, those are super funny. Like they always blame their kids. And Derek the other day was like, I want to see a video of you spanking your kids if we're gonna accept this cancellation.
Honestly, I mean, not a bad idea. Dude, I had a guy buy $100 Cortland Sutton card for me literally yesterday. And, makes the offer, goes through, no problem, whatever. 3 or 4 hours later, I get a message. Hey, what's the lowest you'll take for this? I'm like, $100, which is what you offered. And I accepted. It's like, well, listen, I'm trying to save money. I'm on a budget. Like, can you do any better? I'm like, no, it's $100. Okay, well, I'm going to pay. I just want to make sure. I'm like, this is the price that you offered, and I accepted. You are paying the $100.
I don't do much by it now anymore, but I always respond like, "What's the highest you'll pay?"
Yeah, I should have probably said that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what is the conversation?
Oh man, some people, man.
What else? I have one more good. Well, this is a very easy question first. How many auctions have you guys successfully completed so far?
It's like, I'm glad I read that one because I would have had no idea, but it's like 750.
That's pretty crazy.
In the last 3 months.
Wow.
But that just shows that like 750. That's like over $1,000 card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of them are kind of higher end type of things. So yeah, I like the high end. I don't mind them. Like I like unique stuff actually. I wouldn't even say high end. Like I think unique stuff does really well on auction. Like if you don't see it every day,
it's true.
And then like, a lot of times people will put it out in their case, or they'll try to sell it privately, and people won't know what to pay for it. But like when I was talking about comps earlier, there's actually people that like comps, like that'll buy something to establish a comp because then it's like, okay, this sold for this. You can't find it anymore. At least there's a value. At least you could kind of point to like a little bit of an area where what something's worth. Are you going to show me more David Johnson?
I am going to show more David Johnson. Yes. Why do you think I put one at auction? So I knew what to set the rest at.
Yeah.
Hello. Can I interest you in 9 David Johnson?
David Johnson. He had a couple good years.
He did. Yeah, like 2 good years. Here's one last question. I didn't put this on there, but it just made me think about it. So apologies if I'm catching you off guard. Like, what is your end of year goal? Like, you were sitting here Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, 2023. Like, what is a successful year in your eyes for the consignment service?
Yeah, so like my first goal of the year I wrote down was get someone to pay you to consign. That was January 1st, right?
Yep.
And then my next goal was like hit 1 million in sales. So I guess like the money is, I'm not focusing on the money. It's just more about the process. So like the next goal is 2.5, and then the next goal is 5.25, and then the goal after that is 10. So however I can get there is, and maybe I never do, or maybe we transition and do more of our own cards. But for now, that's the next goal. The final goal is whatever comes next after the next one.
What a good answer. I think it comes full circle too, because like we're now going to talk about like how we got into sports cards and all this stuff.
Ooh, I can't wait for that. Kai's going to love me. I'm going to talk about 2007 football. I'm going to talk about the box. I ripped a box. I ripped 2 boxes, and was it Dallas, Atlanta? I lose track now. I think it was Dallas. 2007 SP threads or something like that. It was the most fun because that's when I started collecting. Really, it was like 2007. That was like the first products I opened. Like Kevin.
That product's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like every pack had like 6 hits in it. It was so much fun. And like I hit a Jamarcus Russell redemption, like the letter redemption. I was like, Jamarcus Russell, this would have been worth hundreds of dollars back then.
Maybe tens of dollars in 2007 market.
But yeah, the market was weird back then. I remember ripping like Score, that Topps Chrome, basketball and stuff like that. But that's kind of when I really remember, getting into it, back then when it was cheap.
You guys have
For
such
me,
a nice... go for
you
it.
go. Or what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you guys have like such like nice memories, like because Kai, you collected as a kid, right?
Yeah, I was gonna.
So I was gonna say mine's super short. So you guys have like nice childhood memories, like going to your local hobby shop and paying $3 for a pack of cards. I got into sports cards in 2015 or 2016 because I was playing Madden Ultimate Team, the franchise mode on Madden. And for those who have not played this or know what it is, basically Madden created a franchise mode online. You buy virtual trading cards and packs, and they have stats, and you play against other players or computers or whatever. And every year with new Madden game, they've released more cards, for the next year. So pay more money, fuckers. NBA does that too. MLB now does that. FIFA has a multi-billion-dollar industry with that. And I was playing Madden, and I realized after a couple years, like, hey, what the fuck is the point of this? Let me look into the real thing. And an influencer who I liked at the time had done a sponsorship with a breaking company called Ripping Wax, and that's how I got into group breaks. And after losing money in those, I realized, hey, this is stupid. Can I just go buy singles and stuff? So almost immediately after those couple of weeks of learning and getting into group breaks and losing money and all that other stuff, and not knowing anything about sports cards, I made my Instagram, and I've been here ever since. This is late 2015, early 2016, and 7 years later, dude, I'm one of the old OGs now of the Instagram card collecting community. It's very weird. A lot of the guys who I came up with are not here anymore. So
Kai, you've been in it like that for a while on Instagram too.
Yeah, I think I joined Instagram in 2014. I was probably one of the OGs.
I wish I would have had some guidance,
but
that's.
Oh yeah,
hang on.
No one
I had no guidance. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Guys, one thing super important. I don't have any cards with me right now with this guy, but they're all at auction. Gardner Minshew to the Colts.
Ooh.
Oh, actually,
that makes me so happy. I love.
That's actually a pretty good move.
All right, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt your stories, but
I mean, I was just gonna say the first things I remember opening were. Do you guys remember Cards Infinity? They got a break online.
I think they're still running, aren't they?
Yeah, I got 2 boxes of the 2010 Plates and Patches football with the encased card. And I thought that was so cool at the time. And then the first card I opened in person was 2011 Topps with Mike Trout. And I love the Diamond Anniversary cards. I don't know why. I'm kind of stashing them right now and grading them myself. I'm trying to get
cheap.
I know. I'm trying to. You can get I got I think 3 Hank Aaron's for $5. Cheater, Chipper, all them. But I'm trying to grade
such a cool looking.
I know they're sick. Too. You know what's even better is the Hope blue ones, the Hope Diamond.
Well, the Hope Diamonds are pretty.
Those are insane. But I'm trying to grade every notable player I remember and get 10s on them myself and keep those.
You should put together a set of that. That'd be sweet.
I would love to do the set. There's just so many cards. There's 3 of each player.
Trout for someone.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what I remember. And then I joined Instagram a couple years later, 2014, 2015-ish. And yeah.
Is your Instagram older than mine? Wow.
Yeah, I was OG. There weren't people were just kind of posting pictures of cards. There wasn't community or anything really.
Yeah.
People were just kind of.
I'm so new to Instagram. I started in 2020, because basically everyone thought
COVID baby.
Everyone was "Oh, you started in COVID," and I was like, "No, I didn't. I actually started before. I just didn't know that there was any of this. I showed up because I had no one to guide me. No one taught me about cards. My dad doesn't really even like sports all that much. Had no one showing me this. This is just me going to a card shop and opening cards and collecting with friends and whatever, taking a break. And then in 2017, I got back into it, and all I was buying was legendary autos, Willie Mays, Bill Russell. And I just got lucky. That's just what I liked. And I had a bunch of them, and then I put them up on eBay because I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay too, even when I was younger. And they all sold for just a stupid amount of money. I was planning on holding them forever. I always bought, and I was oh, I'm never going to sell this. And I would buy them a Willie Mays on-card auto for $200, put it up on eBay, and it just sold for $800. And I was okay, I got to dive in and see what is going on here. What are sports cards? Why is someone paying $800 for this? And I ended up going to my first national 2021 Chicago.
Okay.
And I was just, my eyes just opened up. I only went for a day. My sister was getting married. I would advise anyone to go check out the national. And it just opened my eyes to how small I was, which is okay, right? Like I still don't consider myself big. I still like look up to people. I still want to learn. I don't know everything. It's okay not to know everything. But like the main thing is like go out and learn and search. Like if you have a $700 card right now and that's all you have, or 800, sell that thing and go to the national and make, you know, maybe the trip's a little more expensive than that, but make your way out there and just go look, because you're going to get way more out of that than trying to just like learn on YouTube or like everyone, even influencers, right? They have their own agendas. Like if someone's pushing a card or telling you to go buy Zach Wilson or buy who else was last year, all the scrubs.
Mac Jones, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still like Mac. He's super cheap now, but back then he wasn't, right? Yep. Whoever's like pushing that stuff down your throat and stuff like that, that maybe you don't want to listen to them. Go out and like meet some like good people, right? Like people that actually care, like whether you stay in or leave. Because the reality is, if people get killed, they're out. Like people that are buying these base cards for $1,200 and they're ended up being worth $50. How do you can't? It's hard to bounce back from that. So like, just find some good people, ask around who are good people, not like who's the most famous or whatever. Like
you could hold $100,000 in a bag for you.
Yeah, exactly. Go talk to Dave. He'll give you some good pointers.
Well, that's the thing, and a lot of people have come up to me at shows and be like, "Hey, man, I love the podcast. So you guys talk about shit that no one else will."
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I like your guys' pod.
Well, we don't. I don't. Kai, do you have an agenda? Because I don't. Like
pump Desmond Ridder as high as I can.
Yeah, besides my David Johnson 101s, like, you know.
Desmond Ritter's the next Brady. I'm buying him right now.
That's what this.
Better stock up.
Titles, yeah. Desmond Ritter's.
Hey, he beat Brady last year in his last game, so
that's not saying much though. Like Brady was just on.
Need I say anything else?
Yeah, geriatric.
Ridder to the moon. I already bought everything. I'm buying them right now.
Yeah, no, like listen, we don't have an agenda. I don't fucking care if you listen to me or not. Like my opinion is mine, and you are very willing to not listen to what I say. But I care if you think critically. You can think critically and think I'm a fucking asshole. You're probably right, which is fine.
You've actually taught me a lot, because I remember coming around with a case full of football, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Sell this stuff. And I thought I knew more than other people, and it just turned out.
I don't know fucking anything, but I'm happy to share my insight.
It's okay. Like, go find the person that's doing well and go ask them what they're doing. You know, I've learned a lot from like you and Lucas and Card Junkie and all them. Like, you know, there's people that are doing really well, and maybe they don't even know everything, but you can take a little bit from everyone. And you know,
they kill it.
They do.
Yeah. They really,
oh my god.
Once again, if you think 1% more critically about sports cards after listening to this episode or any episode of this podcast, you are a better collector today than you were the day before. And I'm not telling you to go buy a certain player or do a certain thing. Do whatever you want, but just think critically about it and why. Why is this happening? How is this happening? What are the opportunities here? How can I take advantage of the situation to better my career, better my cards, better this, better that? If you think critically, you will go farther. And that's all I've ever wanted to do with this podcast. And it works. I think people really have seen that.
It's very true.
What were you going to say? I'll just have a quick rapid fire for each of you.
Sure.
If you could go after like one like normal card, so not like $100,000 card, like a 500 to 5,000 range.
Yeah.
It's just like something you've always wanted. What would it be? Like a cool card.
Good question. Am I buying it to flip or am I buying it just to own?
No, this is something you've always wanted. Like you would never move it.
I don't know what Brady flawlesses are at these days. They're obviously over 5K, but they've come down a good bit. Maybe like the cheapest Brady.
You can go over 5K if you want, but
the cheapest Brady flawless I could get, or like the best on card game use patch auto of Brady, whether it's immaculate or maybe NC's probably more than 5K these days.
You had like one of the best Brady cards that possibly was ever.
Yeah, there was like a month-long period where I owned three. I was 3 private sales, 2004 Super Bowl Tom Brady autos.
I was so jealous. I was like,
I ruined that market.
To hold a card, that's if you like. Obviously, what you're doing is better. Like
they dropped like 20K. I single-handedly ruined that card, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah. Oops. I did fine, but I ruined that card for a lot of people.
for me, I guess it's not one card. It's just like I really like older NTs and older like dual autos and just stuff that like I just bought like a Peyton Manning, Eli Manning dual rookie auto from Eli's. I just love like football, number one. Number two, like that rare Hall of Fame stuff. And you could get stuff like that so cheap. Like you get game used Tom Brady patches for $100, like $150. Like there's so much stuff. Like I've gotten kind of away from the expensive stuff. Like the most expensive card I've gotten lately was like a Trevor Lawrence cracked ice raw auto, and that was like a diamond in the rough type of find. But other like it has to be like a no brainer. I don't want to spend $10,000, $20,000 on cards. Really, I like the $500 to $1,000 to $1,500 range. Just feels safer and just feels like better, you know. But yeah, like stuff like that is just Tom Brady,
Justin Fields.
Oh yeah,
the Justin Fields
Collegiate.
What happened? I wasn't listening.
I was talking about the Justin Field collegiate auto, like 5 up, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, these are all fucking fake.
Aren't
badges.
those fake though?
Those are a lot of fake badges. Triple threads, Brady autos, a lot of them are faked. People won't admit that, and we got one of those pulled from either Golden or PWCC. I don't remember who it was, but we helped get that pulled, which was nice.
Did you guys know it was my birthday too?
Oh, what the fuck are you on our podcast for? Happy birthday!
Yeah,
I gotta get
happy
going
birthday.
here, too. We're about to
Go drink. Happy
Yeah.
birthday!
I am. I got the Dos Equis, not the One Equis. I got the Dos Equis. And I'm in Mexico.
Happy birthday!
Came on and everything like that. And,
Thank you for coming on. Please go get belligerently drunk. I really appreciate
we appreciate you.
What the fuck?
You guys are the best. I told you I don't stop working. And
I know, but once again,
it doesn't feel like work when you hang out. When I get to hang out with guys like you.
I appreciate you.
Awesome.
Go drink. Go get belligerently drunk.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you for joining, Kai. I have nothing else to add. This will be
good
live
too,
Wednesday, so thank you guys for listening or watching.
Love you, Kai.
Oh,
God. Oh, all right. And that's how the episode ends.